Council of Elders, Ker Odinga, the clergy, distinguished guests, all protocols observed. Excellencies, allow me to thank you profoundly for finding time to mourn with us. It is consistent with the word of God that we should mourn with those who are mourning. Without much ado, we are going to hear from various groupings, friends, colleagues, and I will just request that any of us who gets here to speak observe what is called in the presidential curriculum, Kenya School of Government, sense of occasion. We are mourning. We expect ourselves to address ourselves to the confines of mourning. Allow me to invite the area member of Parliament, Senior Counsel, Dr. Otiende, to guide us in this session. Wawinjore jothurwa, erokamano.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Raila'S Odinga, the Church, the House of Grace, and the various denominations that have accompanied you, but leading Itamuridi of the House of Grace, the widow, who for all intents and purposes is our chief guest today, Karen Odour, fellow mourners, my name is Otiende Amolo. I will conduct this part, and I'm also the area member of Parliament. I'm also Ujo Turwa. Nyasai ber, wachuru gini matek. Nyasai ber, sechete, erokamano. For these purposes, because Bagi has made the recognition, so I will not repeat them for now. But in this solemn time, allow me to welcome you to Rarieda. Let me welcome you to Asembo. Let me welcome you to Ramba. Your Excellency, this Ramba area is an immensely religious area. Only 50 meters away is where the late Bishop Henry Okulo is buried. So we are in hallowed grounds. And as been said, we will respect the departed George, we will respect the church, and we will respect this hallowed ground. Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, this place is prone to rain. And if the rain catches us, it will mess us up. So for those purposes, we will limit those who will speak. And for those who are invited to speak, we request that you limit your speech to a maximum of 2 minutes. Because it was the request of the widow, it was the request of the church that we inter George by 2 p.m. But right now it's already about 1 p.m. So we want to do our best to conduct this within the next 1 hour. I hope you are in agreement. And I hope I will not be caused to come and stand here next to you if you exceed that time. We've agreed that the political class here is heavy because George was political. But we will not start with the political class. We will start with the family, and the family has graciously agreed to limit it to only 3 people. The first who will speak on behalf of George's sister is Anastasia Aran. Nyimine George, bi urukae, tongata chiel kende mabuwoyo kuom dake kareo, Mama Anastasia Aran ema buwoye low. Wawinjre nwadwa nwaik George chon, to jingeny, to weche ngeny, to satin.
Amoso jochokruok nukwe. Kaka chunga, ani nyamin George maduong'. To awinjo ni idwaro min George. George nigi jonyuolne manotho. To jonyuol George moko nitie. Awinjo ni George onge dalagi, mano tayie mar wacho. George niga nyuolane. Jowadwa kata kidaka moro to karu to mana nitie. Bang'e awinjo ni George nigi kane mage makata saman go kane George pongo tend dala George. Kane mage nyajuo kalego. To George en jaseje, to ne wadagi mkaudha, to George koro ni ndori. To kata kiwa nyuola ni midhi go dala kamoro jowadwa, ok lal. En mana lokruok ka ng'ato nyalo wuok dhi e pango to chako duogo. Koro min George okwaya ni dwaro min George, mondo bi otim neno ka. Ok anyal wuoyo min George, owinjo dholuo moro e dala kucha mochwanye Odour, en mamawa. Koro, ana wuon kama chunga ni, George ni en nyathiwa mara parga, en kuoma mara parga chiel, man George luwa mara parga chiel kakunena ni. Okatin, mae, ema George luwa mogik. To mae luwa ma, koro, jowadwa mang'eny manyalo wacho kuom George, onge, nyabondo moluor, emo iyo ng'adoga, oyo se ng'adonwa nyabondo, onge gima nyalo wacho, aromo ugi mago.
Anigi kora ilungan Jen Anyango Arianda. An machunkani ilungan Mary Were. Mak mnani wach moro achiel ema adwa wacho kuom George ni. George ni konyuole nochake George moro mani iluongo ni George Mkabi. George ni kadongo gima nomiyo chunya ne gombo na wach gimoro ne mama wane siko luonge gan komanda. George komanda kata ko tuko malach to min siko nani okunena George komanda nani. Koro ko chopo dakika mogik ma George obedo kaka komanda taworo ni kara weche Nyasaye chopo kware. Aonge wach otiko wuodhe odhi yue wan bendo wewa gi kwe. Mago bedo weche Nyasaye.
Jaduong' ma baba George, okego nea, okego dima. Mrima kikingi, mrima no sa hingi nyocha ni nyathi nyamera. Koro ikaw kwe makende, mane kaka piny en.
Pamnegi uru. Jodala gi George manka. Chunge uru mondo neu. Jodala gi George. Ero, fuanegi uru, please wave at them. Ero kamano. Joseje manka, kanema George. Kanemae, ere joseje manka. Echogin kacha, fuanegi uru yawa. Ero kamano. Koro jodala gi George kumodake ndori. Asembo, ube chunguru mondo neu. Kore dalau. Aparo nigin kanyo fuanegi. Allow me now to invite George's stepmom. Yenauru monda luong min George man tiere kai Mama Margaret Odinga. Ero kamano mama.
Anbe ka chungo ka nyingi luongo ni Margaret Odinga. George ni en nyathina. Wuon gi maduong' kore ka jaoda. Ne gin dhano adek. Koro achungo kaka mama gi. To atimo mos makende. George otieko wa. Ne nyathiwa mohero, lakini atimo ni Thomas. George onind gi kwe. Aonge mang'eny madanga wachi, awe umna gi mago. Eruru kamano.
Makofi. You know, you should clap for the brevity and the clarity. Thank you very much. May I request that this microphone be brought here? Politely and solemnly, allow me now to invite our chief guest for this solemn ceremony, George's dear wife, Mama Karen Odour, to come and talk to us. Mama Karen, karibu. Debed nango debed ni jo kwaya kanini machiegni du keto wer moro piyo. Sama Mama Karen biro. Matu teme piyo yawa murwakego. Bia mos sama jo kwaya werni. Ero,
endelea ninazidi kutembea maombi yasikie Bwana unipandishe Bwana uniinue kwa imani nisimame nipande milima yote Bwana
Thank you very much for this special day that the God has given unto us, to the President, to the Honorable Excellency Raila Odinga, to the governors, the senators, the MCAs, and all the protocols observed. Thank you very much for coming to help us mourn our friend George. George was a very special friend to us, and a very special friend to everybody, and a special husband to Karen. Karen has been my good friend for the last 30 years, and that is when I met George. So I've known George for all this long. It's sad that we've lost a great man in our lives. I really don't know what to say. I really don't know what to do, because we've lost a man. I've met so many men, but I've never met a man like George, because George was special, a special man, a special husband. I don't have any fear to say that, because there are so many men here, but none can be compared to George. So thank you very much. I'm Rose Asiko, the wife to the veteran legend of KBC, Omole Asiko. I'm going to read a small special tribute about George that Caro has written. And then Caro will timoneno in the Luo, because us here at home, we believe that if you do that in the Luo, it's when you feel that you've really sent your husband in a great way. So you will kindly bear with us. Thank you very much. This is a special tribute by his wife, Karen Auma Odour. It's hard to put into words what it feels like to lose you, George, my husband, my best friend, my greatest support. You were a man of quiet strength, always putting others before yourself. Your journey was full of discipline and sacrifice. I watched you carry so much on your shoulders, and yet you still found time to laugh with the people around you. You check in on me even when you'd be far away on duty to make life lighter, even when yours felt heavy. But beyond the title and reals, it's who you were at home that meant the most. You were loving, present, deeply caring, a true partner in every sense. You made life feel safe. You made our home feel whole. You are a partner who showed up with love, patience, and pride. You were my calm in every storm. You touched so many lives, and I've seen the impact of your kindness and dedication in the stories people have shared. It brings me comfort, even in this pain, to know how loved and respected you are. Though you are no longer by my side, your presence is everywhere, in our family and friends, in our memories, in every part of the life we built together. Rest well, my love. Thank you for loving me. Thank you for choosing me. You gave me your best, and I'll carry your memory with grace and gratitude always. Love, Karen. Thank you very much. Karen has so many friends. So friends of Carol, kindly stand and wave to the... Kindly stand. Thank you so much. Carol will say more. Asanteni sana.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Bwana Yesu asifiwe tena. First, I want to give my thanks to President William Samoei Ruto for coming to mourn with us, to give George a good send-off. And again, second, I want to thank Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, Baba ya George. Thank you. Thank you, Baba, for standing with me always. Again, I want to thank our governors. And again, I want to thank Member of Parliament. And again, I want to speak in Luo about George. And again, I don't want to forget my pastor, Mr. David Morade. Thank you, Pastor. Adwa wuoyo gi dholuo kuom George. George mosiepa masadak go igni 27. George ni en dichuo makokosoni to kidhao to duogo ng'isi no osiepa agoni mos kacha to nakosoni. To an bende kakosone taluonge ni ajojina komanda nong'isa ni min gi ne luonge ni komanda. Koro na eroe ni komanda. Kendo agone ji erokamano mobiro mon komanda na. Ago erokamano kabisa ne jakom gi jok manochung' koda koa e ofis jakom Silas Jakakimba and the team. Thank you so much. Jok manyocha tiyo gi George kaka security, asanteni. An onge gima dawach mang'eny kuom George. If I just started to tell the story of George, you will not leave this place. I want George to go in peace as early as possible. So I don't want to talk much about George. If you want me to give you a story of George, you are welcome to my home. Come, I will tell you George's story. Thank you. Pole, an gosiepena moa Nairobi. Gin kacha. Via wilgo moa Nyanza, Suba. Turgi Silas, Turga Milo. Anyar karachuonyo, modak Suba. Tosani, an Dorika, an Chialego seje, mogedo Dorika. Koro an jara rieda, gitiende, siaya, uyuda manakanyo. Ero urukamano, jodala wanika chunguru mondo nenu. Jodala wamantie kamo biro, gin kacha. Ago nuero kamano jodala wa. Kuom biro yuago ruma nyocho ero urukamano. Thank you so much. Oh. George lived with one son. He's a son to my brother-in-law. Bruce, will we talk?
Kuom welo mobiro konyo wako baba. Agoyo nwero kamano. Mama noweya ga dala. Anyalo wacho mang'eny kuom wuonwa ne. Nyinga iluongo ni Kennedy Odour. Adwa wuoyo kuom wuonwa ni kaka kuom wakale kode nyako chopo kuma nyo mama koro wite. Aparo nyalo wacho mana matin kama ne koro babo chake tuo kama mama oluongowa. Noluonga badhi e ot kama gidakie. To kana donje ot to nayudo ka fadhe lokore matin. Oluonga ni bi kuma ndiyueye ka. To kachopo kanyo to ng'isa ni Jagachola, gima dwan mondo timna, adwanu utaya matin oko mondo awuothi. Wawuok kode oko, kwachope veranda to moyo rumo to duogo e ot. To ng'isa ni wuoda dhi ot, abiro gochonu kaka dhi. Chieng'no beno chiemo maber. Kinyne to mama nogona sim ni koro ok nyalre, baba ni ICU. Koro
en gi mirima, kunene tuneno kochal gi George, en nyathi George, min gi nothowe katin, we raise him up, and gi George, Mos Bruce, erouru kamano, jakom to podagone mana erokamano, kikiweya wuon George, erokamano.
Makofi. Pamneuru yawa malongo, Mama Karen. Aneno kotegno donge ber. Your Excellency, we apologize that we are not doing simultaneous translation because it will take time. But I'm comforted in the fact that you also understand Luo. Donge nonjelo jagot. Donge nonjelo jagot. Wandu wanonjelo janam. Donge wacho dhok achiel. Hallelujah. Other than the earlier recognitions, allow me to recognize all the governors present, led by the host governor, His Excellency James Agri Orengo. Allow me to recognize all the former governors present here, led by the immediate former governor of Siaya, Cornel Rasanga. Allow me to recognize on behalf of the cabinet secretaries, led by our very own Waziri Opiyo Wandayi, who we now call an expert donation to His Excellency's government. Allow me to recognize all the members of Parliament here present, and that will come later. But for these purposes, all the senators present, led by the leaders, Judge Stewart Mazayo, could all the senators just be upstanding, please, for recognition? The senators who are here present, Ero. But for these purposes, led by our very own youth leader, the only orphan in Africa, Dr. Odinga. You know, Dr. Odinga is the only orphan. Even the Right Honorable Prime Minister is not an orphan for these purposes. Allow me to recognize all the members of the National Assembly present, led by our leader, Junet Muhademen. Could all the members, MPs of the National Assembly here present, Mosgiuru, those are members of the National Assembly. Allow me to recognize the principal secretaries present, led by none other than our very own, who has really assisted us in this arrangement, Dr. Raymond Omolo. But at this point, Your Excellency, also allow us to thank you, because we keep donating experts to your government. And there's the most recent donee from this very constituency, Dr. Umo Luga. Where are you? That one is also from here. So we'll keep donating. Allow me to recognize the speakers of the county assemblies present, led by our very own Speaker of Siaya, Speaker George Okode. All the speakers I see, even from Nairobi, Ngondi, and the rest. Allow me to recognize the members of the county assembly present, led by the area MCA, Gordon Onguru. All the MCAs, please be upstanding. All the MCAs, yes, including from Nairobi, from Kisumu, and everywhere. Yawada kumoski. Kokumozo kitabu lungo gika. Eruru kamano. Allow me to recognize members of the provincial administration, from the highest level all the way to the village elders, but for these purposes led by Flora Morwa. Flora, where are you? Yes. Just as you are standing, could all the members of the provincial administration please be upstanding? Nyaka chiefs, assistant chiefs, Joduongweng, DCC, ACC, all of you. Ero pamnegi uru. Ero kamano. Allow me to recognize those with whom we've walked this journey, especially those of us in the Azimio coalition, and there are many, but for these purposes, the one who catches my eye is Professor George Wajakoya in his traditional regalia. But today he has done better because he's not wearing that thing. Today he's wearing combat. Allow me to recognize the Secretary Generals of our various trade unions and two catch my eye. First, the veritable Francis Atuoli. Allah. Allow me also to recognize our very own Secretary General of NAT, Collins Oyu, who is also from Rarieda. Allow me to make this recognition because I'm the Member of Parliament for Rarieda, but there are those who came before me. First in that order is Waziri, who is also my uncle, Tuju. He is here. Dakumos Tuju Maver. But after him, but immediately before me, I think Nicholas Gumbo is somewhere here. There he is. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize all the mourners who are here. But more importantly, Jorarieda, Untie. To commence this part, and I had already said you only take 2 minutes, we will start with the veterans. There are those who served with George for 4 decades. On behalf of the veterans, Lumumba Wade, please approach the podium. But unlike Nairobi, you will not call the veterans up here. You will only ask them to be upstanding wherever they are, and then you speak on their behalf. Lumumba Wade is not just a veteran, he is a man who knows the corridors of Kamiti very well.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. To His Excellency the President, His Excellency Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila'S Odinga, Carol, who has just gotten a new name, the widow, all protocol observed. As you've been told, I'm called Lumumba Wade.
Ne wabro luoro occasion ni. Akwayo ni jomantie kanyo mago kokogo. Please we go koko. Hori mondo wawinj wachni nikech kawuono en odiechieng' mopogre gi odiechienge moko. Aya.
Please honor George's discipline. Kindly, please. I'm called Patrick Lumumba Wade. I'm the area MCA for Southeast Nyakach, currently the Deputy Majority Leader, Kisumu County. As you've been told, I'm representing the veterans. I kindly ask the veterans to be upstanding so that they can be seen. Please. The history of veterans is for another day, but they are called veterans. Thank you very much. Be seated. I'm here also on my own capacity as a good friend, a long-time friend of George and a brother. And I was accompanied by my wife, who is also a family friend, and my daughter. Kindly, Madam, rise up and be seen, because we are a family. I'm also here as a member of ODM, whose flag is covering George's body. And there are people of ODM and friends of George who has accompanied me from Nyakach, led by my area MPA, Honorable Adumo Ward. Kindly, Nyakach people, rise up and be seen. Thank you very much, and be seated. I'm going to give us very short history of George, how far we've come from. I knew George as a young boy in the 90s during the struggle of the second multi-party struggle. But that is not enough. I saw a young man who was a very disciplined youth. I identified him among the many youth. We are so many, but George stood among the best. I was not betrayed and have not been betrayed by George because he has lived up to my expectation, and that has been attested to in the eulogy here by none other than His Excellency, the Right Honorable Ramola Odinga, whom he has served diligently to date. The man we are burying here is a hero, and I'm happy and glad that we are burying a hero at home. Many heroes are declared missing in action, meaning they are not buried at home, but we are burying George at home. With all the honors, I believe those honors are here. His Excellency is here, the President of the Republic of Kenya. Which other honor do you need other than that can be accorded by the President of the Republic of Kenya? So George is going to the grave with all the honors that he deserves. Having said that, let me give a short history of our coming together as veterans. During the struggle for multi-party, our young men and women came up to support the party in form of youth and security. That is how we came together. And indeed, we lived up to our expectation. And I urge young men that the struggle is not yet over. Much as we have the president here, we had Odour the other day, there are a lot of things that still needs to be done and yet to be done. And therefore we count on you to be as the veterans that we are celebrating one of them today. That going forward, even after the president, there will be other things that we need to change, and we call upon you to do the same. We were persecuted. We were tortured. But that did not deter us to continue with our struggle. I can attest here that those people you see collaborating around Prime Minister, each and everyone has paid a price. All these people have paid a price, but we are not regretting because that price has given us fruits, and we are seeing one of them being multi-party. 2010, the Constitution is here to be seen. We have devolution, and so on and so forth. Those are contributions of those that we are celebrating today. I want to say here and appreciate Mama Ida. Mama Ida, she's not here. But in the struggle, she has always stood with us as the family. I was arrested. George was arrested. When we were very young, our families were very young. Caro had just gotten married when we were arrested and taken to committee with my friend, now the CS, Opio, and I. The woman who brought our families together and encouraged our young wives was none other than Ida. She brought them together and was constantly counseling them and telling them, I am a testimony. My husband was arrested when I was young. You be steadfast and follow this path. And that path they followed to date. I'm happy that Caro is burying George today. Had it not been for Mama Ida, I'm sure some of us would have come from prison and find ourselves without wives. Thank you, Mama. In the struggle, a lot of people participated in a way or the other. I can see Honorable James Orengo here, who was over there for us whenever we were arrested. The family of Honorable Nyong'o participated. At one time, we were almost going to the gallows. It was none other than Brother Nyong'o, Professor, the pathologist, who actually cleared the air when we were being charged with murder, which we never did. I thank everybody that was there for us during the time of struggle. Brother Odi, as I always refer to you and you refer to me as the commander, thank you very much, all the veterans, and God bless you.
Invite Brother Odour Ongwen to speak briefly. Odour Ongwen, please come forward.
Mama Caro and the family, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, our party leader, Jacob Raila Amolo Odinga, deferring to all the protocol. We are in an ecosystem where people struggle for the microphone. However, today it was very difficult to come and stand behind this microphone because we have lost a legend. I'm standing here on behalf of those who worked with George. I come from the National Secretariat of the Orange Democratic Movement, where George is, I'm still using the present tense, is staff number 051. So as a family, we are devastated. So before I say 2 words, I want to ask George's colleagues, wherever they are, to stand, starting with Chungwa House. Where are you, the staff from Chungwa House? There they are, led by Mr. Kawino. Capitol Hill. The staff from Capitol Hill, please. Where are you? Here they are. From Joff? Those from Joff? And finally, those from Mama Aida's home. The staff, please. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Your Excellency, the person we are sending off was a man of presence. He was always composed, ever aware, but most importantly, equipped with very sharp political instincts. And that is what made him an asset around Jacob. He's a person you can describe as having been very tough, yet also very friendly. George was never overbearing. However, ukifanya fujo, utaona. This is the person we are sending off. But most importantly, very human. At a personal level, I've known George for close to 34 years. From 1991, when I came back from the exile. Won't tell you where and what I was doing in exile. But when I came back, the late Jaramogi invited me to go and see him at Ajip House. Then we missed each other. Later he had to send his driver, who was also called Jaramogi, to take me to Spectre. And it is in that process that we met with George. The rest, as they say, is history. Finally, on occasion like this, people confess if they had your debt or you had their debt. As George goes, he left me with this debt, but which I'm boldly saying I'll not pay. This debt from 4 years ago, George had spotted my dogs, and he wanted a dog. But because of the nature of his work, he took too long, and I gave that dog to somebody else. Later, that dog was keeping security at the airport. So at least when he came back, I told him, no, it's gone, but he's on national duty. He's a public officer. So I promised to give him another dog. Unfortunately, he's going before I gave him that dog. Fare thee well, word Seje. Asanteni.
Makofi kwa Odour Ongwen. But join me in telling Odour Ongwen the following. George is gone, but his family is still here. Odour Ongwen, give that dog to Karen. Omiye kozoki komie. Omiye kozoki komie. Odour Ongwen, that dog, give to Karen, not just one, like two, to keep George's very beautiful home. For just 1 minute, on behalf of now the staff at Capitol Hill and the media team, Dennis Onyango, quickly, please, just 1 minute. Please, quickly.
To George's immediate family, Karen, His Excellency the President, who I know must have been a beneficiary of George's security at some stage, to Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga, our boss, and a man who has lost a piece of himself, I'm here to speak on behalf of the office that you lead, and I'll speak from the point of view of George as a professional. I knew George. I've known George for some time. Even before I joined you, I knew George. And as I've said before, a bit of things may not be the same again with this exit. We will try to fill the gap, and we will fill the gap eventually. But a few things will take time, because George and you develop some kind of telepathic relationship, such that if George sensed that there is a problem between you and Mzee, you will notice it from George's reactions. George will never leave Mzee's side, even when he was hungry. But when he felt that he needs to take a bite behind the scenes, he would be very careful to ask, come and stand in for me. And if you try to stand in for George, and you realize he was not allowing you to stand in for him, then you knew there's a problem. There are many things that George made work seamlessly. Some of those are things that you would not tell him, but which he would read from your body language. He would know that Mzee is struggling with this kind of decision, and he will call you and tell you, have you spoken to Mzee this morning? And you say, I don't need to talk to him. He tell you, call him. That time he knew there's something you are struggling with. George loved order. George loved decorum, and George loved sustaining an image of Mzee, so that if you looked like you are not fit to be around Mzee, he would whisper to your side and tell you never appear like this before again. On on the left-hand page of this, you see George in a red tie. I have this red tie. He left it with me. He left it with me because the day we were in Addis, he felt that the tie I was wearing was not fit for being for the occasion. So he told me, take this one. And I think that the last time we met as officers, he left me with this tie. I still have it. He gave it to me because he had a way of wanting the space around you to look like. And he would not tell you, all these nice dresses that you see, George, it was deliberate. It was very deliberate. Finally, behind all the tough things that he did, George helped me sustain an image of you, because George was very friendly to a very special constituency called the media. When you had an occasion where I could not appear and I knew George was there, I was okay. You would tell him, please, of all the things the media get accused of, all they need is access. Facilitate the access to the boss and we will be okay. And George did that. I will miss, on a light note, those occasions when we traveled abroad with George. And Mzee, you know, when we are there, out there with you, we don't sleep. Every footstep in the corridors, we assume is you leaving. So there are occasions when George had footsteps in the corridors, would run out with a vest because he believes Mzee is leaving, only to come back and find you are actually asleep. And would laugh it off. We know those occasions when Mzee would feel disappointed by his staff, when we would say he has hit the roof, when everybody would freeze. In that freezing, only George would come back and tell people, now how long are you going to freeze here? Get away and go. So we'll miss that. We thank God for his life, and we thank you for everything that you have put into his life. And we assure you, we'll try to fill the gap. Thank you very much.
Makofi kwa Dennis. Now we know Dennis Onyango only has one good tie, and it's a red one. George Odour served as the Right Honorable Security, and his colleagues are right there. They may not speak now, but please just rise so that you are recognized. Please rise up. Those are Makofi kwao. And that's only part of the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga's security team. If you think they're all here, the person seated next to you might actually be part of that team. Tangaenya. All the former members of Parliament who are here, please rise up. I think the person who's come farthest is the former member of Parliament from Molo, the Honorable Mungai. Makofi kwake. Honorable Mbeyo is also there. Yes. Asanteni sana. I even see Prof behind there. Allow me now, on behalf of all the friends of George Odour, and we are all here as friends, but only one person will speak briefly on behalf of the friends, and that will be Silas Jakakimba. Please.
Excellency the President, Prime Minister Odinga, and Madam Caro, George Neluongeni Nyamera, and fellow monarchs. I bring my pole to Madam Caro and the people of Alego Seje, Jodalagi George, Okepe George, Nyikepene, Ganyula Duto, Gijo Alego, Jo Game, to Gijo Rieda, Kelo Pole Maga Makende, Kumulalo George. I'll be brief, as we had agreed. PM, it's not easy, Timon and George, but because I've been told to represent friends, I'll try. I first met George at the University of Nairobi, I think around 2002 or 2003. There was an event where the Prime Minister came to do a public lecture, organized by the then Odhiambo Mbai professor and another. And as a young law student, we used to look up to our seniors. Kina Ted Munovu was the chairman then, Ken Obura. So we walked from Parklands to main campus. And when the Prime Minister, after doing his public lecture, went upstairs to the so-called senior common room, Then our leaders also followed him up there. I decided to go say hi to this gentleman that came with the Prime Minister. Telo Bear Ainya. That is how our friendship began with George. And he's held my hands over the years. Along the way, some months later, he told me, aneno kenya thima longo, biateri musane Jacom. Notera Jacom at a venue called the United Kenya Club. And I did lunch with Jacom. I think that day there was also Francis Ogola. And thank you, Jacom, for the time shared. The honor I had to serve you through George is not a small thing. Moving on to just recently, I don't want to speak to our friendship. It's a long time of friendship. George and Caro are always on the island, the so-called the Promised Island Mfangano. And I said the other day, the first time they came, you know, when visitors come to visit us, Daktari, we do fish. So George did not eat fish. He said, ni eno kochamrech, he didn't do fish. He had to eat eggs as we destroyed the samaki. So one thing is, George, though he comes from the lakeside, is one of the few people from this area who never did fish and hated fish. Whenever he goes to his in-laws, the Lambwe people are here, rather Karachunyu people who live in Suba, in Lambwe, I was always by his side. Whenever I did, of course, my ceremonies at my in-laws, George was always there, and of course, alongside Fidel Odinga. So the friendship has been there for a long time. In fact, Kano Godalaka, when he was doing his house, the home here, Excellency and Prime Minister, George invited me, in spite of my young age, to come and do the 2 trees by the gate, this side. And he did the same for me when I was doing my residence at Kakimba. He came with Madame, and they did the same thing at my residence, at the gate, the 2 trees. So, thank you so much. But coming to recently, I know Bruce tried speaking, and I don't want to talk about his sickness, but I just want to tell you people, because most people are calling me asking, did George have an accident? George really struggled the last 3 weeks, and PM, thank you so much. In spite of your tight schedules, you are going to Sudan, coming back, checking in. You even came to the hospital, it was tough, and you told me, Sila, this is terrible. But you always found time to come and offer moral support, so thank you so much. I know there's something we want to do away with in terms of Thanksgiving. It's called vote of thanks. So thank you, Jacom, for everything and the moral support. You remember the day you came when he was in ICU second time? He opened his eyes for the first time in 4 days of ICU when you came with Maurice and Upondo. And that really encouraged him. In fact, the last word I think he added was Erokamano to Jacom. So asante sana. Thank you, Excellency, the President, through Dr. Omolo. Your moral support has always been around us. But George, as I told PM, is a strong man. He went through this thing bravely. He was very brave. From home, he went to ICU, did HDU for around 9 days, went back to ICU, but he was very brave and strong throughout. And thank you, PM, for the honor. You called me to your office and told me, Sila, I want you to coordinate this thing. And of course, I asked PM, could we have Dr. Tienda Molo to support? Because PM told me, I don't want a funeral committee. And I know, and he's been in denial. I know Prime Minister Odinga almost very well. He's penning, he's grieving, and I told him, Dignitary. He told me, still, I don't want a committee. Committee for what? Committee Marango. You know, I'll not say much, because he's in pain, and I understand him. But he was gracious enough to allow us to have Daktari to handle this space. So asante sana for the honor to do this, and God bless you. On behalf of all friends, we say asanteni for the support. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. And the church, Bishop, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Gospel Latis, mbarikiwe. Pastor Evelyn, Yesu support Manaru. Thank you, Prime Minister and President.
Thank you, Silas. Excellency, do not let Jakakimba mislead you that there's only one promised island. We have serious islands on Lake Victoria, and all of them are promised.
Sorry, I forgot. There are colleagues that we served with at the Prime Minister's office, and they have been coming around, both at home, in the hospital, and here. Kasuku, Maina, and the entire team, even Dennis Onyango and Kina Ibrahim, you are still there. Your support is appreciated, and God bless you.
We have the Luo Council of Elders. I want to invite our care, Jaduong Odungiranda, to come and speak. Samo Biro know all the members of the Luo Council of Elders, wherever you are, and all the elders from other tribes who are here, please be upstanding for recognition. All the members of the Luo Council of Elders. Jaduong Ayaga, who is the deputy care, why are you not standing? Pamnegi Uru. Mae care mar Luo. The care of the Luo in all the 12 countries that the Luos reside in. Thank you, Kero Dungiranda.
His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga, Mama Karen, Nijo Kanisa Matayo Nyasi, Maro di Wur Udalego. Adugo Nuero Kamano, Kecho Miadaki Kamano, Mudachungo Ka. Uluonga Mani Kechen Madalaka Mamara, Marbedo Ker Marogandalugo. Jokanyanda Mamoso Udo Imoreuru. Ogandalua Moso Imoreuru. Satana Sindwe. Satana Sindwe. Erokamano. Noganda Monoruka. Mobilo ko di wur. O di wura ngeyo. Kataka diku matuta ngeye. Agoni most wunya lego. Marwito. One of your best people. Alamoni nyasani kata soye. To miye nga machielo machalgo di wur. Asegwedi. Alamoni nyasai mone yudi another gentleman machalgo di wur. Gikite gitim neduto. O di wur kanango romogo. Kawukie jela. To koro di gombaka. To di wuro klosi. Kata wach ba mit manadi. Taduga ngiyo bata ta kodi ngani. Ena ngamo ne nyero to di nyero. Mani o di wur. Vito nga maber. Na sach polo. Mondo ka uchunyuket ka maber. An kod yoga moko ka. Jodongo. Jodongo duto. Jaduong mwa Tanzania. Jaduong mwa Mumias. Jodongo duto ay umalo de ke achiel kende. Maka jodong luo. Maka jodong luo Council of Elders. Jodongo mabondo ere. Jodongo masiaya ere. Aduogo nuero kamano. Aduogo ero kamano e wach maro di word ke wach ba o ticho di word maber. Ukelo President Ruto kawuono wan go ka. Nyoja Desemba ka. Nyoja Desemba ka. Kaka ker maluo. Abedo ke jodongo adek madongo. Abedo ke Museveni wuti lokacha. Abedo ke Ruto wonande to Raila polo wunya lego mago joma dongo e turwaka. Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Akwayo nyasach polo. Noganda luo kamora mora magintie. Mondo kire uregi begi mora chiel. Kigi mora mora uoge kid luo kamantie nieri. Agombo ni kamora mara mwande ye wayud kaya luwe na chiel. Uye kod mano. Amia ubadu malo nija luo bena chiel. Mia umalo. Aduogo diwero kamano. Aneno kalian ni eliel mapek. Utingo waga tuoli be wan go ka. Katorengo wonya mayanga wan go ka. Kata mazayo wood coast be wan go ka. Usiep na moro ba aneno ka. Ne malimos di baba. Tingbari malo. Manga musiep na mate. Ero kamana aonge kod weche. Dakika mano miari ameda ngwen. Ero kamana chiwo masoch wach ni Nyasaye gweth na uduto. Ero kamano jaka kimba. Utinda molo. Tijora rira maber. Orengo wunya mayanga. Amor kaneni. Nyaero. Mar Nyasaye mena i. Jiduto mochopo ka. Arwako uru kaka jaluo. Kakoro wang udo. Nyasaye telu. Ubiro iwago ni wur maber. Anena nyang wunya lunga be wan go kagi tim ne duto. Mar Nyasaye polo gwedhu. Wunya lego bed kamano. Alamo ni Nyasaye polo. Nyasaye ramo gi kwarwa mondo be kodu. Ero kamano uru.
Dakupamne ker. Ero kamano ker. Agoni ero kamano ahinya. We have various deputy governors here present. Could they be upstanding? We know that in Siaya there's a vacancy. Those who want could apply. But the deputy governors here present, asanteni sana. When Governor Orengo is speaking, he'll recognize you properly. I saw Ruto Odinga stand. Nyakamami Bika. Please come for a different reason. As you all know, George Odour was a member of Raila'S Odinga's family and Mama Ida Odinga, and by extension, the Jaramogi family. So, the Honorable Ruth Odinga will speak on behalf of the entire family. Maybe they could all be upstanding first before Ruth starts.
His Excellency the President, to the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga, all protocols observed. Here, standing on behalf of the family, members of the family of the Odingas, could you please be upstanding? As you can see, we are all here. There are very many here. As you know, George is a brother. George is an uncle, and to many of us, we say that this is a family member that we have lost. I can see many of you saying that George started off working with my father, with Raila. Actually, he started working with my father. I knew George when he was working with my father at Ajib House, then at Spectre. George was a very good mechanic. He was very good at his work. But surprisingly enough, when he came over to start doing security, George was the best security we've ever had. As you can know, some of us, we always want, just like how you people want to be with Raila all the time, even as the family, we always want to be around Raila. And we would call, even when he needs his own privacy. Samoro nitie kata kare moro mabe no dire abindu okodwaro wach mar nyithindgi. Ok ni okodwaro to bende jakombe nitie gi time modwaro bedo kende. George Oduor nong'e kaka ne deal kodwa. Ibro dhi me ng'ato koni kata kuma ne entie. Kama ne jakom nitie. Mi chopi. To George ong'e ni jakom sano kaka nuwinjo kane owach ka gi Dennis. Ni okodwa neno usano entiere gi dish ne moro ma en go. Ibro doke ot ma ang realize mana ni okineno jakom kisedo gi chope ot. Jojo treat maber moloso kodi mongajo pachi mi dhi mokiti mango okineno jakom to samoro bende shida mi dhi neno nego no Jojo tiekoni. George ne miyo wabet ma onge wich kuot as family. Omiyo ang'e ni wawinjo lit. The gap ma Jojo weyo, I don't know who will fill. Jojo weyo kama duong'. Nyocha entie gi kwe mabe kata kineno ka en gi jakom to en gi kwe. Tana wacho ni aka family amor ni wabedo ga kaka baba wanoketo wa ni kama jotije wanitie wahero ga bedo gi jotije wago kata gi kendo kara nang'e ichon Ajib House pod ang'e nyaka sani be an manan kodi aparo ni the last breath mane Jojo kao an manan kodi osiptal bende ne doctor wuondowa ni George pod ngima to kara Jojo sewewa Maka wuok kalore lift to kachopo oko to karowo chanani jojo wewa jogo ne manejwa. Wan kodi anachako kodi kwa tindo pod babo mna bedo kodi joko dingo kwega jogi Nyasaye mondo medu udongi kwe. Thank you.
Pamneuru nyaka mami. Now we are moving pretty fast because as you can see the clouds are forming, but we want to beat the time. May I now come to the National Assembly, and for the National Assembly may I invite our minority leader. Well, the courts call him majority leader, but as in Parliament we still maintain him as our minority leader to introduce the members of Parliament and speak on their behalf.
His Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, Governor Siaya, His Excellency James Orengo, and other governors, members of Parliament, all mourners, Bwana sifiwe. Bwana sifiwe tena. Yangu ni machache, nataka kuomba wenzangu ambaye tunafanya na huko kwa bunge wasimame juu ili watambulike. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa kutoka Nyatike anaitwa Mheshimiwa Tom Odege. Tuko hapa na mzee wetu wa huko Nairobi anaitwa Babu Owino. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa wa Budalangi anaitwa Rafael Wanjala. Tuko pale na mheshimiwa wa Kibra Mwalimu Orero. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa wa Makadara George Aladwa Omwera, chairman wa ODM huko Nairobi. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa kutoka Nyakach, Mheshimiwa Duma Uor. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa wa ODM wa Mandera East anaitwa Hussein Weitan. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa wa Kisumu Central Daktari Oron, Dr. Oron yuko hapa. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa ya Karachuonyo yuko chini anaitwa Dr. Adipo, mheshimiwa Kuome Adipo yuko hapa. Inua mkono juu zaidi. Watu wakuone. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa kutoka Awendo, Mheshimiwa Walter Wino. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa wa Lego Usonga, Mheshimiwa Atandi, Chairman Budget Committee. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa Tubi, ya youth leader wa ODM John Katora yuko hapa. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa Game Elisha Akuba hapa. Iko hapa women rep wa Siaya anaitwa Dr. Ombaka. Tuko hapa na mheshimiwa Ndi wa Wood Chief yuko hapa. Tuko na chairman wetu ambaye ni chairman wa Health Committee, mbunge wa Seme Dr. Nyikan. Mheshimiwa wa Kisumu West Rosa Buyu. Women rep wa Migori Mheshimiwa Fatuma Full Network. Iko hapa mheshimiwa Langata anaitwa Jalango mwenyewe, na women rep ya Kisumu ameshaongea anaitwa Ruto Odinga. Iko hapa mheshimiwa wa Westlands constituency Mheshimiwa Tim Wanyonyi iko hapa. Iko hapa Moroni MP anaitwa Mheshimiwa Onyango Koyo yuko hapa James. Nafikiri nimesema yote. Sasa kwa sababu ya time nataka kuomba Mheshimiwa Senator Minority Leader ya Senate akuje tambue senators mwenzake, na anaweza ita Dr. Oburu na mwingine wakuja waseme machache. Unajua ofisi yangu iko kwa katiba article 108. Sasa yangu ni kubwa kidogo zaidi.
Ofisi zote mbili ziko sawa. Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari William Ruto, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, Mama Karen, wabunge wote walioko hapa wa Senate na wale wengine wa bunge la kitaifa, ndugu zangu wote ma MCAs, waheshimiwa magavana, Bwana asifiwe. Kitu cha kwanza nataka kuchukua nafasi hii niweze kuwajulisha wale ndugu zangu maseneta walioko hapa. Tafadhalini maseneta mlioko hapa popote mlipo, kama mnaweza kusimama tu ili tuweze kuwajulisha. Wa kwanza kwa upande wangu wa kulia ni Senator Moses Otieno Kajwang Jr. ambaye ni senator wa Homa Bay. Tuko na senator pale nyuma, ndugu yangu mdogo anaitwa Eddie Okech, yeye ni senator wa Migori. Tuko na senator pale nyuma, dada yetu anaitwa Senator Hamida Kibwana, yeye ni senator mteule. Tuko na anayetambuliwa na kila mtu katika Kenya yetu, ambaye ni mwandishi mkuu wa chama cha ODM, na yeye ni senator wa Nairobi, ndugu yangu Edwin Sifuna. Tuko na ndugu yangu hapa ambaye ni deputy party leader, ndugu yangu Godfrey Osotsi, ambaye ni senator wetu wa Vihiga. Kwa upande wangu wa kushoto niko na youth leader, kiongozi wetu tunaye mwenzi sana ndani ya Senate, Daktari Odour Odinga, akiwa ni senator wa Siaya. Sioni senator mwingine, kwa hiyo nafikiri hao ndio waliofika. Baba Raila Odinga, najua wakati huu ni wakati mgumu sana kwako. Najua ni wakati ambao uko na sumazi kubwa, lakini tunakuweka mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu tukijua ya kwamba mtihani huu japokuwa ni mkubwa, wewe na familia na ndugu zangu ambao ni watoto wako katika familia kubwa ya Jaramogi Odinga, Mungu atawapatia nguvu na faraja ili muweze kupita mtihani huu kwa huyu ndugu ambaye tumepoteza. Kwa Mama Karen, pole sana mama kwa kifo, lakini tunajua Mwenyezi Mungu yuko na sote pia tutaweza kukuweka mbele ya Mwenyezi Mungu ili uweze kupita mtihani huu mgumu wakati huu. Mimi nataka kuachilia hapo nikisema ya kwamba ndugu yangu Junet njoo ili uendelee na ratiba. Asanteni sana.
Asante sana kiongozi wetu wa Senate, Mheshimiwa Senator. Yangu ni machache. Nataka kutoa rambirambi yangu kwanza kwa familia ya rafiki yangu George na Mama Karen. Mimi George alikuwa rafiki yangu sana. Alikuwa ni mtu ambaye tulikuwa tunawasiliana kila siku kwa sababu ya anafanya kazi na kiongozi wetu Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Mimi nimetoka naye mbali. Wakati nilikuwa nimeingia siasa, nikiwa meya ndio nimejuana na yeye. Nimetembelea kwake nyumbani, tumepikiwa chakula na Mama Karen, tumekula kwake. Alikuwa mtu ambaye rafiki yangu sana na mtu ambaye namtambua kwa ukarimu sana. Ya pili, Mheshimiwa wakubwa wenzangu, baba na president, ni ya kwamba George alikuwa ametusaidia sisi wenyewe akiwa kwa baba kisiasa. Unajua Mheshimiwa Rais, kwa siasa kuna thermometers ya kupima naye joto. Thermometer ya Kenyan politics vile unajua ni baba. Yeye ndio anaweka chini, yeye ndio anaweka juu. Yeye ndio anapima temperature ya siasa ya Kenya. Mheshimiwa Rais, na ile thermometer tulikuwa tunatumia karibu na baba ilikuwa George. Unapigia George unauliza yeye, naweza ongea na baba saa hii? Unaona mood iko namna gani? Hali akisema George, ngoja kwanza, unangoja. Sasa tumepoteza thermometer kubwa sana katika area ya baba. I will personally miss his charming voice. Akinipigia simu nikiwa bunge, ananiambia Mheshimiwa mzee anakutafuta. He used to tell me like that, then I tried looking for baba after that. But having said, Mheshimiwa Rais, jambo la kwanza baba, mimi kama kiongozi huko National Assembly, nimesikia vile umeongea Mombasa, tena nimesikia vile umeongea jana hapa Siaya, kwa mambo ambaye najua unaipenda sana ya devolution. Sisi kama watu wa National Assembly, sasa tunaitisha ceasefire. Sisi tunataka kuacha sasa vita. Tumesikia vile umetoa amri kali, tutasungumuza kichini chini, tutaona vile tutafanya. Hata ile bill ya additional revenue allocation tutapitisha by Thursday, itaenda kwa president kupigwa sahihi. Tutapitisha. Hiyo vita nimeona inakuja ni kali sana, Your Excellency, wacha tukwepe. Unajua ukiona mawimbi imetanda, isikunyeshe, unaingia kwa nyumba haraka. Baba anasema sisi ndio tunaangamiza devolution kama watu wa National Assembly. Ati watu wa National Assembly hawataki mambo ya devolution. Nitaenda kuhubiri hiyo injili vizuri sana kuanzia Tuesday. Utaona Jonathan anaongea vingine, amebadilisha mdomo yake. Jambo la pili, Your Excellency, ni ya kwamba chama chetu cha ODM tarehe 7 iliyopita waliweka maktaba na chama ya UDA kuhusu mambo 10 ambayo inafaa ifanywe. Na hiyo mambo ni mambo ya kusaidia Kenya. Mambo ya inclusivity, constitutionalism, mambo ya kupeleka maendeleo kila tabaka ya Kenya. Your Excellency, that is the way we want our country to go. People are worried about 2027, but there is life between now and 2027. There is service to the people between now and 2027. Na kuna watu ambaye wanapinga hiyo maneno. Na mimi jambo ya maana sana najivunia katika bunge kama minority leader, one of my biggest achievement was to impeach your deputy. Hiyo nimeandika kwa kitabu, nimefanya kazi ya maana sana kwa sababu yeye ndo alikuwa anaongoza hii mambo hii ya ubaguzi. Anasema hawa wana shareholding, hawa watohame Kenya, waende Uganda. Sisi kama watu wa Migori aliweka sisi Tanzania, si hata hapa Kenya. Mimi wakati hiyo motion ilikuja, nilikuwa nasanya hata signatures usiku, sio mchana. Usiku nilikuwa natembea kwa nyumba za wabunge, weka mimi kidole hapa, hii mtu aende bana. Kwa sababu nchi hii saa hii yeye ndo anaongea kila pahali, anasema ati fulani anaonewa, fulani ameiba. Huyu ni mtu ambaye wakati tulikuwa tunafanya maandamano ya 2023 ya kupigania mambo ya cost of living na mambo ya uchaguzi na nini, alikuwa anaingia kwa ofisi yake saa 11 ili apambane na sisi. Hata jogo ya pili bado hajalia saa hiyo na ako kwa ofisi. Alikuwa anafanya nini kwa ofisi saa hiyo? Alikuwa anafanya nini kwa ofisi saa hiyo? Huyo mtu alikuwa mtu hatari katika nchi yetu. Saa hii mimi nikiona yeye analia kwa TV, mimi nafurahi sana. Naweka chai kwa kikombe, nasema waendelea kulia. Sisi pia tulilia zamani, waendelea kulia. Your Excellency, kitu moja umefanya pamoja na baba ni kusaidia sisi kulete Wakenya pamoja. Sisi saa hii tuko na chairman ya budget kwa bunge, anaitwa Samatandi. Tuko na Mbadi kwa treasury. Saa hii mimi ndio kama leader ya bunge, ndio naangalia hawa vile wanafanya kazi, vile wamegawa mali na rasilimali ya Kenya. Zamani nilikuwa naona tu kwa view, sasa saa hii chairman ya health committee ana report kwangu, Dr. Nyikal, na ulisa panga weka hospitali huko namna hii. Hiyo ndio ile Kenya tunataka, sio Kenya kubagua wengine na wengine wanakula. Kwa kumalizia, Your Excellency, mimi nataka, juzi niliangalia budget. Juzi mimi mwenyewe niliangalia. miaka 2 iliyopita 2021 na 2022 kuna barabara 1,400 kilometers new roads were started through the taxes of Kenyans. 970 kilometers were assigned to one region. Sisi tumeona barabara kilomita 45 peke yake hapa Nyanza yote 45 is it 32 kilometers. Na anaweza kubali na ushuru ikisanywa inasanywa kwa kila mtu. Haibaguliwi. Waseme watu fulani msitoe ushuru kwa sababu maendeleo haikuji kwenu. Inasanywa kwa kila mtu. Si nyinyi mnalipa ushuru? Hii mambo ya ubaguzi ya kugawa rasilimali ya nchi lazima ikome na lazima ikwishe katika nchi yetu. Na mtu yoyote atakuwa na tabia kama ya Rigathi Gachagua, impeachment inakuja. Uwe minister, uwe deputy ingine, uwe sijui nani, wembe ni ule ule tu. Sasa hii tunataka mambo ya Wakenya kukuja pamoja. Kila region ya nchi yetu wapate maendeleo. Kila 47 counties yote wapate maendeleo. Kwa hiyo machache, Your Excellency, sasa mambo nimeona experts yetu iko hapo. Mambo ni broad based. Hapa mbele tutaona vile mambo itaenda. Mungu akubali. Asante sana. Mungu abariki.
Yeah. Hello. Asante, Honorable Junet. Allow me now, and with the profound apologies, Your Excellency, in this region, we are ODM, the oldest party and the biggest party in East and Central Africa. So let me call the Secretary General of this party to speak to us briefly.
Aya, asanteni sana. Mheshimiwa Rais, Mheshimiwa William Ruto, Mheshimiwa my party leader, kiongozi wangu, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, familia ya ndugu yetu George kiongozwa na Mama Karen, wote ambao mmefika hapa na wasalimu kwa jina la Yesu Kristo, hamjambo. Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi ndio Sifuna. Ukiangalia ngoja kwanza. Ukiangalia hapa mbele huyu muungwana amelala, amefunikwa na bendera ya chama cha ODM. Nataka nikuambie Mheshimiwa Junet, mimi ni mtu mdogo, lakini kiti ambacho nimekalia ni kikubwa sana. Kiti cha katibu mkuu wa chama lazima kiheshimiwe. Na ndio kwa maana tumechukua hiyo bendera, tumefunika huyo mwanachama. Sio kila mtu wa ODM akifariki huwa tunafunika hiyo bendera. Ni heshima kubwa ambaye tunamtunuku ndugu yetu George. Mheshimiwa Baba, jinsi ambavyo nilizungumza tukiwa kule Nairobi, mimi nilisema nimejua George kwa sababu ya ukaribu wako na wewe na kwa kufanya kazi pamoja na wewe. Ukiangalia security situation around Raila Odinga, I don't think there is a security situation that swings as wildly from one extreme to another kama security situation ya baba. Mtaamka asubuhi, mnakunywa chai huko London na watu wa diplomacy, mnasalimia marais Addis Ababa. Saa 8 inatakana uingize Raila katika uwanja ya Kamukunji. Imejaa watu wanapiga kelele, wanapenda Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, na hiyo mapenzi ni hatari hata kwa baba mwenyewe. Halafu siku ingine inahitajika umtoe kule Embakasi South akipigwa tear gas na risasi, uhakikishe kwamba amefika kwa mama Aida akiwa mzima. That is how wild the security situation around Raila Odinga swings. And this gentleman you see here, he did it with a lot of grace. Na tunataka tuseme kwa niaba ya chama cha ODM, poleni sana kwa kumpoteza George. Kama katibu nina majukumu ya kikatiba chini ya chama cha ODM. Nataka mpe huyu ndugu yetu 3 salute. Nikisema ODM, mnasema tuko tayari, ndio George ajue amezingirwa na marafiki wake. ODM. 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 Asante sana. Sasa George, sisi tunasema apumzike kwa amani. Mheshimiwa Raila, mimi unanipa majukumu pale kama katibu wako. Junet amesema yake, hata mimi na yangu. Mimi nilikuwepo kuandikisha mkataba na chama cha UDA. Na huo mkataba kuna mambo inazungumzia. Baba, watu wetu hawa walienda uchaguzi wa chama Kenya nzima. Na nataka niwashukuru wana ODM kwa sababu mlifanya uchaguzi kwa amani. Kulikuwa na sehemu chache ambazo zilikuwa shida, lakini tutarekebisha. Lakini Mheshimiwa Raila, wiki moja kabla tufanye huo uchaguzi, nilipokea barua kutoka kwa msajili wa vyama msajili wa vyama ananiambia amekata bajeti ya chama cha ODM kwa shilingi milioni 42. Inafanya kazi yetu kama viongozi wa chama kuwa ngumu sana. Na huo mkataba tuliandikisha ulikuwa unasema, Mheshimiwa Rais, kwamba tuheshimu sheria ikiwemo sheria ya vyama. Mimi nataka kukuomba, kwa sababu tumeambiwa ati siku hizi treasury inalala sindo, sijui chairman ya budget ako hapa ni mtu ya ODM. Mheshimiwa Junet, wakati unaangalia hiyo mabudget, tafadhali wekea wanachama wa ODM pesa yao chini ya sheria vile ambavyo inahitajika. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Raila, chini ya huo mkataba tulisema county zetu zipate 450 billion Kenya shillings. Nimesikia fununu Junet, nyinyi mnapendekeza kwenye National Assembly 405. Tulisema 450, sio 405. Tafadhali kaa urekebishe hapo, mambo itakuwa sawa. Ya mwisho, Mheshimiwa Rais, Bishop ametuambia hapa kwamba kazi yako ni ngumu sana. Na mimi nakubaliana naye, hata mimi saa nyingine huwa najiuliza vile wewe unalala. Lakini kuna zingine, Mheshimiwa Rais, nasema Waswahili, mwiba wa kujidunga hauambiwi pole. Kuna watu kwa serikali yako kazi yao ni kushika handball kila siku. Sasa kama hii drama yote tumeona Nakuru, ati watoto wanakatazwa kufanya mchezo, sijui wanapigwa tear gas, sijui wanafukuzwa. Hiyo ni mwiba wa kujidunga, Mheshimiwa Rais. Wale ambao wanahusika na kufanya kazi yako ikuwe ngumu, read them the riot act, kwa sababu tunajua kazi yako ni ngumu zaidi, wasifanye ikuwe ngumu zaidi. Kwa hayo mengi nasema asanteni sana, na Mungu amlaze George mahali pema peponi.
Asante, thank you, SG Sifuna. Allow me, Your Excellency, to thank the security forces. The police in this region, from the region to the county to the sub-county, have done a splendid job, not just today, but since George died. We want to thank them. Here we have formal security and informal security. There are friends of Raila who come from far, including Mike Makerena, all the way from Meru. We recognize you. Allow me now to invite the only orphan in this region, the youth leader, the Senator of Siaya, Honorable Dr. Odour Odinga, to come and render his eulogy. Iluongeni Atar.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, Honorable Raila Odinga, the Prime Minister, and all protocols observed. I have sat for a long time, so I don't want to speak much. What I want to say is that this man lying here was a very, very great man. Because I can tell you, the man he was taking care of, called Raila Odinga, is not a very easy person to take care of. He is not a very easy person to take care of. I can tell you as his elder brother, Raila is very tough. And he likes discipline. He likes discipline, and I can assure you that if you are around him and you are not disciplined, his left hand is very fast and you will not take long around him. You will not take long around him. And George, who is lying here, was my friend. I knew him in 1992 when he was in the in Ajip House with my dad. But I knew him more in 1994 when Jaramogi passed on. He is among the youth who came to campaign for me under very difficult circumstances. KANU was pouring money in Bondo was pouring money and also food. It was during famine time. And Your Excellency, those people were very, very aggressive. I know you were there, so you know. You know that Odongo Mamo came with gunias of money, bags of money, and also food. I was a poor civil servant. I had just come from being the provincial planning officer in Kakamega, and I came in to Bondo without expecting to contest any seat as a member of parliament. And I had no money. And even my brother Raila did not give me money. He was a member of parliament. Nobody gave me money, but Odour came, and he was with Nyam Nyam and others, and Agunyo, Wakin Agunyo. I can see them, those ones you call veterans. They came for us, to campaign for us in Webuye and here. And I can assure you, it was not an easy struggle, and they managed to go through that fierce force of KANU, and we managed to win the elections by landslide. By landslide. And Odour, I can tell you people, if you didn't know, that he was more than security to Raila. He was more than security. He was also like a brother, and he knew everything. He knows, you know, what security knows what is ailing you, what security knows what is how you think. The security would judge Raila and even be very sensitive. When Raila wants to do something, he would actually just make sure that that thing is done very fast. And I want to ask the Almighty God to put his great soul to rest. And finally, Your Excellency, I want to say one thing, that this country has a democratic system where we do elections every 5 years. We do elections every 5 years. But we cannot have a situation where we are agitating, standing up and saying, Ruto must go, Ruto must go. If he goes, so what? If he goes, so what? He can go like the president of Shadbari of Somalia went, and there was chaos in that country. There was complete chaos in that. Up to today, Somalia does not know peace. And we don't want our country to suffer that. We want our country to be peaceful. We want to stabilize it. And that is the reason why we joined you, Your Excellency, when we were actually the ones carrying out what Gen Z was doing. We want to encourage this country to be peaceful, and we are going to work. And those our friends who think otherwise, they should also continue to think otherwise, and we remain friends with them, but they should know that as ODM we have decided to work in this broad-based government, and we have lent you people to work with you. But, Your Excellency, what I would like to appeal for, please make sure that our region gets its fair share of development. Let us get our fair share of development, and those people who think that we are taking their share from the mountain, we are not taking your share. Kenya is so big, and we are only eating our share. Mr. President, give us our share, not theirs. If they want to come, let them come. So Mr. President, I don't want to say more. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and may the Almighty God rest Odour's body in peace, and also have everlasting peace for his family. Thank you, Karen, and thank you, everyone.
The only orphan in East and Central Africa has spoken. Thank you, Dr. Buru. On behalf of all the workers in the Republic of Kenya, allow me to invite the Secretary General of KOTU, Francis Atwoli, to say a word.
Thank you very much. Nitakuwa kwa ufupi sana kwa ajili wakati umeenda. Rais na mheshimiwa shemegi yangu the Right Honorable Raila Odinga na waheshimiwa wote, mimi nataka kuwa kwa ufupi sana. Jambo la kwanza, nataka kushukuru wewe kwa kupata time kuja kwa mazishi ya George. Mimi nimepata nafasi ya kuserve presidents wa Kenya wote since independence. Nimeona serikali ya Kenyatta, mzee founding father of this nation. Nimeona serikali ya Moi, baada tulikaa naye 24 years. Nimeona serikali ya Kibaki, nimeona serikali ya Uhuru, na nimeona serikali yako. Na labda serikali yako ndio mimi nitaserve ya mwisho, na alafu nirudi kule Huisero. Nataka kusema hivi, sio wote kwa hawa president nimeona moja angelikuja matanga kama ya George. To be honest with you, I want to thank you very much for that. Kumpa Raila Amolo Odinga heshima ya kuja kwa matanga ya assistant wake. Na pia sisi tulikuwa katika Azimio vile unavyojua. Nilikuwa karibu sana na George. George is a terrible security organizer. Kuna wakati tulienda pahala, kuna upinzani ya watu wawili na wote ni watu wetu. Na fujo imetokea, kuna yuko mtu pale katika dais, watu wote wameondoka. Mimi ndio nilienda kuambia Mheshimiwa Raila, hapa nafikiria hatutakuwa na mkutano hapa, iko fujo. Raila akaita George. George akasema nipe 2 minutes. 2 minutes George had organized, everything was okay. Mkutano ikafanywa na ikaisha. Najua shemegi yangu kupata mtu kama huyo haitakuwa rahisi. Lakini mama Karen, wewe umepoteza sana pia kuliko sisi zote. Mwisho nataka kuongea maneno Daktari Odour amesema. Kuna mzungu mmoja amekuja juzi kule Mbakasi. Huyu mzungu kuingia kwa tax, yule driver wa tax anamwambia Ruto must go. Ruto must go. Mzungu anamuuliza, me am a businessman, I've come here, I have a chemical branch of my organization. Where do you want me to go? Because mzungu hajui ni yeye anaambiwa he must go. Mimi nataka kuuliza wa Kenya, wacha tujaribu kuwa patriotic. Tupende nchi hii. Maneno ikiharibika katika, na mimi nataka kushukuru shemegi yangu Raila Amolo Odinga. Kufanya kazi na serikali sio kusema you have compromised your principles. Nchi hii ni kubwa. I'm appealing to Kenyans, ni lazima tuje pamoja tulinde nchi hii. Na pia nimesikia katibu mkuu wa chama chetu cha ODM akisema maneno ya watoto wa huko kwangu. Pia ningeliomba nyinyi politicians, let us not mix politics with our young children. Tuache watoto wasome. Ukiwa ukitaka siasa, fanya na adults, usiende kwa watoto. Shanzi sana. Pumbavu sana. Ninataka kuachia hapo. Nasema poleni sana. Thank you very much.
Hello. Asante ndugu Atwoli. We have, Your Excellency, 2 of your cabinet secretaries here present. We have the cabinet secretary responsible for East African affairs, the Honorable Beatrice Askul. And we have the cabinet secretary responsible for energy from our very own county, the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi. Allow me to invite the Honorable Opiyo Wandayi to handle this part. Waziri, karibu.
Aya. Your Excellency, the President, Daktari William Samoei Ruto, na hiyo mvua ni ishara ya baraka kubwa sana. Your Excellency, Prime Minister Raila'S Odinga, Mama Karen, and fellow mourners, I will be extremely brief. But before I proceed, allow me to introduce my sister, the Cabinet Secretary for East Africa Community, ASAL, and Regional Development, the Honorable Beatrice Askul. Aje tu hapa mbele awasalimie.
Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri wa Kenya, Mheshimiwa Prime Minister ambaye ni baba, mama mjane Karen, waombelezaji wote, wanasiasa walioko, God is good and all the time. Mimi naitwa Beatrice Askul, ni Cabinet Secretary wa East Africa Community Affairs, ASAL and Regional Development. Kwa hivyo niko mahali hapa nikitoka kwa kaunti ya Turkana. Kwa hivyo nimeleta maombolezi zetu na baraka za Mungu kwamba yale yametendeka tukubali kwamba yalitendeka kwa sababu ni mapenzi ya Mungu. Tuko hapa kwa sababu pia babangu mlezi kisiasa ni Raila'S Odinga. Kwa hivyo nimekuja kusimama na familia yake kwa sababu huyu ni mmoja ya wale walikuwa na yeye katika undani wa kutenda kazi. Kwa hivyo tuna majukumu tukipitia kwa kiongozi wetu wa serikali ambaye pia ni baba yetu katika uongozi wa serikali. Hapa tuwe pamoja, tuomboleze mambo haya, tukitiana pia nguvu kwamba ni Mungu pekee uweza kutenda mambo haya. Juu hatuna uwezo kama binadamu, ni mpito ya kila na mmoja. Kwa hivyo watu wa Siaya, Mungu awape nguvu sana, awatie sana nguvu familia yake na watoto ya George. Mimi nilimjua George back 2004. Wakati tulikuja kujua baba Raila'S, na mara kwa mara alikuwa anatuleta karibu. Nakumbuka siku moja wakati baba alikuwa Prime Minister, ikawa kwamba kuna mlolongo hapo kupata baba si rahisi. Ikawa kwamba nimekuja na Mheshimiwa Imana kutoka Turkana. Wakati huo nilikuwa Secretary General wa chama kwa county. Mheshimiwa Imana alikuwa chama. Ikawa ngumu sisi kupata baba. Ikawa kwamba tumetext message kwa baba kwamba sisi tumetoka Turkana, tulifika hapa saa 3 asubuhi mpaka saa hizi hatujawahi kukupata. Baba alipata hiyo message around saa 5. Na mara moja tulikuwa pale chini kwa reception pale. Tulipata mtu ametumwa mara moja kutuchukua. Na I am assuring you wakati huo mwenye alitumwa ni George. Na tangu George ajue sisi amekuwa akitupatia all the time access wa baba. Ndio nikajua kwamba ni mmoja pia ya wale wanatii sheria za baba kwa watu wake. Kwa hivyo nilimjua wakati huo tukafanya kazi mpaka sasa. Baba pole sana. Wacha Mungu akutie nguvu. Mungu akuwezeshe. Ninajua mambo haya ni mapito ya kila na mmoja. Kwa hivyo siwezi ongea mengi. Mungu awabariki wanasiaya. Mungu awalinde. Your Excellency the President, we are here because you are here. Thank you so much.
Asante sana dada yangu Mheshimiwa Beatrice Askul. In our midst, we have a number of national government officials, and especially those who come from this region. They will not speak. I will just ask them to be upstanding so that you may know them. And they are led by my good friend and brother P.S. Raymond Omolo of Internal Security. Thank you very much, Daktari. We have got Dr. Umo Luga, a nominee for PS Medical Services. That is my good Vranda. Aya. Asante sana. Who else is there? We have got the chairman of the Kenya Sugar Board, who is also the son of the soil, Mheshimiwa Engineer Nicholas Gumbo. We also have in our midst, I believe, a commissioner at the Salary and Remuneration Commission, Mr. Dignitary Jalango, and many, many others. Many, many others. Let me say this, and very, very briefly so, because as it is customary, as cabinet secretaries, we don't make speeches in the presence of the president. But let me say this, that the man lying there was a great man, because a lot has been said about George, which I can confirm is true. I knew George in 1991, when I was a young university student in Nairobi. And George, amongst other colleagues of his, were then the youth of Baba and of course Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. So we worked very closely with George and his compatriots, those of us who are from the university as students, and George and his compatriots, whom I would have referred to as the combatants in the then movement. We consider ourselves as the think tank. But we worked very closely together. We had a very seamless blending. Very, very seamless blending. This George was a very calm person. But earlier on, he was very, very, very aggressive. I think in his earlier days. And very, very alert. I remember one day, Your Excellency, when we were in Thika Stadium, that was sometime in 1996, as members of Ford Kenya then. The infamous Ford Kenya meeting at Thika Stadium, when there were divisions in the party, and we found ourselves in Thika trying to resolve the stalemate. We were faced by a very, very, very aggressive group that had obvious support of the police. And on our side, we remained extremely vulnerable. Together with Baba and the rest. George, on that particular day, demonstrated utmost bravery and actually saved the day, because otherwise a lot of damage would have been done. Fast forward, Your Excellency, I found myself with George. You know, those days when you were youth, under Baba, being arrested was customary, was normal. You would be arrested every other day. But one time, Your Excellency, I think that was now in 1997, when we were clamoring for reforms as young people, and under Baba and his compatriots. I found myself arrested together with George. And we spent with him almost 10 days at Kilimali police station. Those days, there was no time limit for being incarcerated in police station. You could even stay there forever, under the old constitution. We stayed with George for about 10 days at Kilimani. Later on, we found ourselves in Kamukunji police station, and eventually, we found ourselves in Kamiti, where we stayed with George alongside other comrades of his, like Mumba Wade, who spoke here earlier on. In Kamiti, Your Excellency, we stayed for about 5 months with George. And George remained very, very firm and committed. One thing I want to say is that most of us who have worked closely under Baba, those of us who have been through the Baba School of Mentorship, one thing we have been surprised when people come out and say, oh, when I was serving, I was called, I was told to do so and so. Oh, when somebody came to meet me, I recorded him. That is something that we cannot do, those of us who have been brought up and mentored by Baba. Because we have been taught that you must maintain confidentiality. You must maintain confidentiality. Your Excellency, let me say this, that as we send off George today, we must appreciate the gains that we have made as a country. As a country. And I must thank Baba Raila'S Odinga, for accepting to work closely with you, Your Excellency, to unite this country. Your Excellency, where you sit, rest assured that Baba has got our collective mandate as the people of this region to assist you to unite this country. And that from where we sit, Your Excellency, there is no turning back. We have made a decision that we are working with you, and we are doing this to the end. To the end. We are doing this because we know that the country is much bigger than any one of us. Your Excellency, under your leadership, and I must say this here, it is the first time in the history of this country, since we gained independence, that we are seeing electricity being taken to our islands on Lake Victoria. Your Excellency, recently you came here and launched a serious mini-grid electrification project at Mageta Island. Here. Later on, I represented you in commissioning electricity projects in Ngode Island and Takawiri Island. Your Excellency, in this coming budget, we are planning to ensure, working closely with my brother John Mbadi and Mheshimiwa Samatandi, to ensure that we put in place mechanisms to extend electricity to Ndeda Island, to Oyamo Island, and to Sifu Island in Central Sakwa, here in Siaya County. And not to forget that we are also just about to open a tender to take electricity to Kiwa Island and Kibuagi Island in Suba South, Your Excellency. So these are happening because of the conducive environment that has been brought about by our coming together under Your Excellency and Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga. Odinga. As I conclude, Your Excellency, don't be threatened by anything or anybody. And those who are shouting, Ruto must go, I want to tell you, he is going nowhere. Oh, come on. He is going nowhere as long as Baba Raila Amolo Odinga continues to work with him. And we are all behind him. Your Excellency. Your Excellency, in this region, we are not known to be double speakers. We say what we believe in, and we do what we say. We have said in one accord that we are in this government of yours as a people, and we want to continue in that manner. Kwa hayo na machache, asanteni sana na Mwenyezi Mungu abariki. May George's soul rest in eternal peace. Asanteni sana.
Thank you, Waziri Wandai, for those words. You know, my own session is now coming to a close. So allow me on behalf of the people of Rarieda, now that we have the attention of His Excellency the President, to say only three things. First of all, Your Excellency, in these grounds where we are mourning George Odour, but we've been mourning in recent days. In this very school where we are, 2 students lost their lives barely 2 weeks ago when they were on top of a cistern or a pit that sank. And in fact, they are being buried today. So we mourn with their families. In this very school, Your Excellency, only about a week ago, we had a funeral ceremony for 5 ladies. 5 ladies who lost their lives again just in the local village when they were mining gold. And we appealed, and I've already met the CS in charge of mines, Waziri Joho, and the PS, to ask that they help us enhance the safety in terms of that. Your Excellency, the Ramba school that is mourning requested me to request, and I am merely a servant, that you may find it in your heart that if you want to donate something to this school, Their biggest problem is a dining hall. They have many problems, but most of the others I'll deal with. They have a capacity of about 2,500. The dining hall that they have built about 30 years ago can only accommodate 800. Akwayo kutoka akwayo. Secondly, Your Excellency, there's a very small portion of a very small road that was unable to be completed before your time. It is called Akado Kamito Road, just 4.8 kilometers. It has now taken 6 years, just 4.8 kilometers, Your Excellency. We plead that you might find it, not just to complete it, but once it gets to a place like Assembly Bay, and you know Assembly Bay, Your Excellency, we've been there with you. When you continue now, past Luak, then you go to the Right Honorable's home. That's 11 kilometers. So we request not that you just complete the 4.8, but you now connect it, so that when you come to visit your friend, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, you can choose not to go through Ndori, but you go through Kalandin. Dakupa Munbe. Lastly, Your Excellency, is affordable housing. Your Excellency, in this constituency, we are yet to get any affordable housing. But I've spoken to PS Hinga, and I've requested that for us here, our top priority is accommodation for students. Rarieda has 5 wards, and each of those wards has a tertiary institution. There's Mahaya Tivet, there's Masala KMTC, there's Agok campus of Jaramogi, there's Bwaja TTC, and lastly, there's Nyakongo campus of the Kisumu National Polytechnic. Our humble request is, may you find it in your heart to prioritize building students' hostels as our form of affordable houses. Secondly, I want to support Honorable Junet, and we want to assure you, Your Excellency, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, that as one of those who crafted the Constitution, I fully support a situation where we realize the full fruits of devolution. And therefore, if things are stuck in the National Assembly, I will be the first to support Junet to unlock it. But we equally plead with you, Your Excellency, and the Right Honorable Prime Minister, that there's this other thing called CDF, NGCDF. Hii pia msitunyang'anye jameni. Hata ukiangalia hii shule, it is shining courtesy of CDF. I agree that members of parliament have no business involving themselves in the details of CDF, including construction. Lakini at the end of the day, CDF tokonyo, kozo konyo. Uye no, okonyo kozo kokonyo. Koro CDF to beda, and manani, we have to be careful. We ensure that it is restricted to the functions of national government, and the member of parliament has no business dealing with it. Awacho kozo kawacho. Lastly, I want to apologize to you, Your Excellency. Only 2.5 years ago, we were adversaries because as an advocate, counsel, I acted on instructions. I had my client, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, who instructed me through my leader, Senior Counsel, to challenge your win. And we did challenge it, and you know that. And you know, when we are there, we are kind of different. We don't talk the way we are talking here. But the Supreme Court said that was all hot air. And we accepted. So, Your Excellency, we accepted, therefore, because we were saying the government would be Raila Amolo Odinga. But the Supreme Court said the government is William Samoei Ruto. Adir kozo kadir. Therefore, you are the government. I thank you for accommodating our government. And the distinction, therefore, is we are not the government, but we are in government, courtesy of your accommodation. We are in government because we have donated experts like Opio and I to work with you. And we thank you for that. Uwinjo kimawacho kuzu kuwinjo. Awacho ni ya. Kigngato wachni one A sirikal. Like one A sirikal. Uwinja kuzu kuwinja. And for that reason, we beg that you give a little leeway to Waziri Wandai, Waziri Mbadi, Waziri Askul, and others. Because in this region, we have suffered for 60 years. So Dr. Buru said that give everyone their due. But you know, if you get 2 children, one who is hungry, you can't give them equal by way of what's called affirmative action. So hata Wandai, Ambadi na wengine wakifanya affirmative action, Your Excellency, uangalie tu na macho ya upole. Awajo kuzo kawacho. Allow me now to invite the governor of Siaya, His Excellency James Agri Orengo, to take over from here.
Hello? 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 Ero Kamano. Now, we have a very short period, and it is raining, so we want to make this bit as quickly as possible. And Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency Raila'S Odinga, Mama Khan, and the family and the leadership that are here. Now it is my role to... I'll start by calling upon Honorable Wajakoya, 1 minute only, and then I'll call the governor.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, my Prime Minister, Honorable Raila'S Odinga, Governor Orengo, Governor Baraza, Governor Tuoma, Governor, my friend from Migori, Professor Nyang' Nyong', and the area MP. This is the first time I'm meeting this man, Ruto, after the election. I wish you had called me before. Maybe stories would have been different. But let me take this opportunity to tell you that had I won the presidency, maybe I could have been the one talking here. But I congratulate you for your good work. The only thing I have to say, because I've been given 2 minutes, I will say 2 things. Number 1, devolution. Governors are suffering. Governors do not have money. The monies have not been sent to these people. Governors are borrowing to pay their employees. Governors are really being faced with the problem of not paying contractors money for devolution. That devolution was brought by the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga. Secondly, I would like you, Mr. President, and I recognize you, I would like you that when you go back home today, as the President, go and call Butere girls and their principal to State House, have tea with them. Tell them thank you, and then visit their school, harmonize relationship with the school kids. Otherwise, watoto wadogo saa hizi wanakuchukia because of the mistake that was done by your juniors. Correct them. You are my president. You have the sword of power, and you can lead the country if you have both of us. Madam George, Madam Chi-George, it's George that made me closer to Jacom. There are some who had blocked me, and I've stayed with Jacom in Britain. I've stayed with Jacom's family, including the sister in UK. But when I came back, there was that buffer zone. It is this man who made me see Jacom, and then we blossomed. Finally, Governor Orengo, Inosiapna. Orengo, you have played a big role in my education. Orengo, you have played a big role in democratization of this country. Orengo, you have played a big role in doing what we have. May I take this opportunity to go and sit down to thank Baba. If you did not do what you did, this country would have burned. But we don't want to burn this country, Mr. President. I want you to go and tame Farouk and group. Waambia wakai chini. Because this country is bigger than them. You are my president. Then I'll come and have tea with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now it is my honor
and privileged to call the governors to come here and introduce themselves. Time is not on our side. Can I start with the order in which you are sitting? Governor Baraza, Governor Tuoma, Governor Ochilo, Governor Anyang' Nyong'o, and Governor Gladys Wanga.
Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, Daktari William Samoei Ruto, kinara wetu wa chama cha ODM, Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, itifaki zote zikizingatiwa. Bwana asifiwe. Kwanza kabisa, Mheshimiwa Rais, niruhusu nitambue mfalme wa the Wanga Kingdom ambaye ako hapa, Honorable Peter Nabongo, amekuja kuwa na sisi hapa. Pia niruhusu nitambue Kakamega Council of Elders ambao wamekuja hapa kwa siku ya leo kuomboleza ndugu yetu. Wasimame tafadhali, na MCS wa Kakamega pia msimame, MCA 20. Asante. Kwa niaba ya wana Kakamega wote, mimi nimekuja hapa kuleta pole zetu kwa ndugu yetu na familia ya ndugu yetu George Odour, ikiongozwa na mama mjane, Mama Karen, na pia Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. George mimi nilimjua, na tumepoteza jemedari ambaye amedhihirisha wazi ya kwamba as a security wa Baba Raila Amolo Odinga, you must be loyal. My brother George apumzike kwa amani. Jambo la pili, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi nashukuru sana kwa niaba ya wanakakamega wote vile mlitia mkataba na Raila Amolo Odinga ili tuweze kueneza maendeleo katika gatuzi zote 47. Na leo my brother Junet amesema ya kwamba atakuwa mstari wa mbele kutetea pesa zije katika gatuzi zetu 47. Kwa niaba ya magavana wote, mimi kama mwenyekiti wa kamati ya fedha, nashukuru sana ule mkataba ambao ulitilia mkazo pesa za kuja hapa katika gatuzi 47, shilingi bilioni 450. Na mimi niko na imani ya kwamba ubunge kuwekelea mkono hizo pesa zitakuja hapa. Mwisho kabisa, kwa niaba ya wanakakamega wote, nataka kusema kwamba sisi tuko imara na tunaunga mkono serikali ya mapana na marefu, yani broad based government. Asanteni sana na Mungu awabariki.
Asante Susia ambao amekuja hapa, mnaweza simama tu mpunge mkono, najua kuna waheshimiwa wako pale nyuma. Asanteni sana. Hao wote wamekuwa marafiki wa George, tayari hatuwezi kurudia. Wale wamekuwa karibu na mzee, wengi mumetambua kwamba kupitia katika George huyu amekuwa pia kama mmoja wetu, kwa sababu huwezi kuwa kwamba ulikuwa karibu na mzee na ukose kumjua George. Yetu ya mwisho ya George, kwa mama nitasema tu pole. Mimi pia nimemjua George zaidi ya miaka 20 na kitu, na yangu ya mwisho nakumbuka aliniita tukitoka mambo ya broad based, akaniita kwenda kwa mzee, kwa baba, kwamba kuja hapa kwa baba kidogo baada ya kutia ile sahihi, na nafikiria ndiyo ilikuwa siku yangu ya mwisho. So George, fare thee well, may the Almighty God rest your soul in eternal peace. Ya mwisho, Mheshimiwa Rais, mimi tu pia nitasema, najua nchi yetu inapitia changamoto, lakini wale wazungumzaji ambao wamezungumza hapa, ni majukumu yetu kama viongozi kutatua shida zetu. Hatuwezi kusema kwamba tutazungumzia tu hizi shida ni kama kuna mtu mwingine atakuja kutatua. So vile tumesema kwamba Kenya ni yetu wote, na tukasema kazi ifanywe pamoja, haimaanishi vile watu wamezungumza hapa kusema kwamba ile maadili umekuwa nayo umeitupilia mbali. Ni kusema tu tutaweza eka mikono yetu pamoja vipi so that tuweze kufanya nchi yetu bora kwa sisi wote. So Wandai umezungumuza, na mimi nitasema tu, unajua ile mambo iko hapa Siaya ndio iko Busia. Mambo ya Ring Road Ilikuwa almost the last 20 years haijafanywa, na hata ilikuwa imeshawekwa kandarasi. Shida zile za industrialization kule kwetu ndio tuko nazo. So tutatamani tu vile tunafanya kazi pamoja, that let it work for all Kenyans, including us there who are in Busia. Asanteni sana, Mungu wabariki.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Your Excellency, the Right Honorable Raila'S Odinga, on my own behalf and on behalf of the good people of Migori, I bring my condolence to the family of George, to Baba, and to all Kenyans and the patriots who have lost a great person. Your Excellency, the President of Kenya, not many people know why Baba is called the People's President. Baba is called the People's President because of the love that the people have for Baba. But the People's President needs security. Security, if the People's President is not the national president, is not given by the state. It is this great person lying here called George that developed the network of civilian securities who always secure Baba. In Migori, where we come from, George had a wide network of young people who are always and will always be protective of Baba. Baba is a true friend, a true security person who is much better than the official security that will always be offered to you. We have come here to support you. We have come here to support all of us. Finally, Baba, hii miujiza mmefanya pamoja na rais wa Kenya called broad-based government, this is the greatest thing. On my part, around when we had KANU, tulikuwa na vita sana. I have been around when we had other parties. This understanding that you have brought and given to us as Kenyans has enabled us to sit everywhere, anywhere, including in funerals, na tulie na tuomboleze kama jamii moja. Continue it, and we hope in 2027 we'll continue like this. May God bless all of us. Asanteni sana.
The President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency Ruto, the Prime Minister Raila'S Odinga, the family of George, Mama Karen and the family, I bring you poleni sana for the loss of George. I bring you greetings from Kisumu County and from my wife Dorothy, who could have been here but has another function, who brings condolences to the family. I just want to say two things. George was a gate to reaching the Prime Minister. Maybe it was only me who Professor, wait a minute. Let me see whether I can pass this phone to the Prime Minister. And that was the confidential relationship I think George had with the Prime Minister. When he knew when there was somebody who wanted to reach him urgently, he had the confidence of passing his own phone to the Prime Minister. I thank the Prime Minister for that kind of relationship with George, because it made it easier for us to access him when he had meetings and very important things to attend to when we wanted to reach him. So I thank you very much. I thank George for the service he gave us as those who work with you and the confidence he had in us. Finally, Mr. President, I know those of us who are governors are in charge of health. The Constitution of Kenya gives a health function to counties. And we have been having some problems of health, especially the SHA. But let me assure you, Mr. President, we are meeting in the Council of Governors on Monday with your team to discuss these problems and to bring to the government tangible issues that need to be attended to for issues that concern SHA and the health system in general in our country. We shall meet on Monday, and you will get the information subsequently from your officers. We thank you very much for paying attention to that, And let me end by saying, poleni sana Jondori, poleni sana Josiah, poleni sana the family, Modu, such an important person like George, who was a good friend, a good comrade, and a good supporter of us as ODM and as those who have struggled with Raila for so many years. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Your Excellency, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya, the Church, and the family of the late George Odour that we are sending off today. Wananchi wapendwa, hamjambo. First, as the national chairman of the ODM party, allow me to recognize all the ODM party officials right from polling station mpaka NEC. Nataka msimame mpunge mkono wale ambao wamechaguliwa katika chama cha ODM. Asanteni, mketi chini. Baba and the entire Jaramogi family, tunasema pole sana for the loss of George. George was distinct and he treated everybody equally. Alikuwa imesemwa sana, lakini jambo moja ambayo nitaongezea ambayo labda sijasikia ikisemwa, he was also a very consummate community developer. Mimi nilikuwa governor kule Homa Bay, where Karen comes from. Yeye ni Nyakindu, anaishi huko Suba. The last conversation we had with George ilikuwa kusupport kanisa huko Lambwe kwa family ya kina Karen. He supported the community and community projects. And may God rest his soul in eternal peace. Tarehe 7 mwezi wa 3, sisi wote tulikutana pale KICC. ODM walikuwa hapa, UDA walikuwa pale, na walituzungumzia